Welcome back, guys. Little Piece of Heart here, Kathleen Hart. Today I'm going to show you how I'm utilizing something really cool that I'm growing outside, my fig tree. Now Jay started this fig tree from a twig that his mom gave him off of her fig tree. So it's kind of really cool that 4 years later we finally have figs growing. So we've been picking them like crazy. So coming up with new recipes has been really, really fun. And it's another great way to use an in-season fruit. And I'm going to show you a little sneak peek now of what this looks like and a little sneak peek of my fig tree. Well, Jay and I's fig tree. Take a look. So what was I making with those figs? I'll tell you right now. Gorgonzola, toasted walnut, stuffed figs, wrapped in prosciutto, drizzled with balsamic glaze. Mind blown, right? Crazy flavors, might not go. Trust me, they are so, so, so good. And the one bite pop in your mouth is a great appetizer. It's a great snack. They're great warm right off of the grill pan, which I have preheating behind me, or they're actually good at room temperature, or even chilled in the fridge. I like them that way. So really, this is a great thing that you can make ahead or make as your guests are arriving to your party or get together and serve them as an appetizer. Let me show you the simple ingredients. We're gonna start with figs. Now today I'm gonna make 6 of them. So I have 6 figs here. These are perfectly ripe. They're gorgeous. They're still a little bit firm. If your figs are mushy, because they can get like that, you can still eat them, but they're not gonna work good with this because we want something that'll hold up on the grill. So those are my figs. The prosciutto here, I have 3 thin slices here, which will be perfect because we're going to use half of this. I'm going to cut this in half and do half a slice for each fig. We have some gorgonzola cheese, toasted walnuts. This was about 12 walnuts. I just broke them into pieces. And then we also have some olive oil and balsamic glaze. You can buy balsamic glaze today. My store was out, so I actually made it myself. It's super simple. Just put your balsamic in a saucepan and just have it on like a low simmer for a few minutes until it gets nice and thick and syrupy. And then you can actually decide how syrupy you want it to get. I like mine this consistency, which you'll see later when we're ready to serve, but it's so good and it's easy to make at home. So let's get started with preparing the figs for these little one bite appetizers. So your fig is gonna have a bottom and a top. This is where we picked it off of my fig tree. So what you're gonna do is you wanna cut that piece off because that's where the stem attached to the fig. Then this fig, we're gonna cut down the center. You don't wanna cut all the way to the bottom. You just wanna cut it so that it opens up like that. Look how pretty that looks. These are really beautiful fruit, they really are. Now to this, I'm gonna take a piece of gorgonzola. I know I go overboard, I overstuff my burgers, I overstuff everything. You gotta hold back because if you overstuff them, then it'll just be a mess. So I like to add in a little piece and then maybe a little piece more and then kind of squish it together. Then I hold it and I take a piece of my walnut and I kind of stick it right down the middle, just like that. Perfect. Now my prosciutto, I'm actually just going to cut it right down. Okay. And then also, if your prosciutto has a lot of fat on it, take it off because you're only putting these on the grill for a few minutes, so it's not really gonna get to cook off. So you're not going to want a fatty piece. So just take off those pieces. I already did that to these, so these are pretty lean as they are. Then you're going to take your prosciutto, wrap it around, just like that. And there you go. And actually, totally forgot, I'm going to use toothpick to keep this together, and then they'll be really easy to flip on my grill pan, but I'm going to grab them from my pantry. Got my toothpicks. What I like to do is stand it up, just the way we had it before. Now, the toothpick, you don't want to try to shove this through the nut, so I like to go around it and then just kind of move things out of the way just so that it's just in there securing everything together. So what I'm going to do is assemble 5 more of these and then I'll show you what to do next. So I have all my figs all wrapped up and stuffed. I wanted to show you guys just what they look like. So everything's stuffed in there, not a ton of filling. I had to hold myself back. But then the bottom, see how we didn't cut all the way through, so we still have a stable bottom. So now we're gonna put the open side down first. So we wanna do a little bit of olive oil just on a brush and just brush it right on top. And this just makes it so that it just grills and we get those nice grill marks on it. My grill is nice and hot. It's a little bit less than high heat. I would say probably about medium high, maybe a little bit more than that. So I know these babies are gonna start to sizzle as soon as I put them down. So that's what we want. And the toothpicks are helping me keep these all together and keeping the prosciutto on the fig. These are gonna grill for 1.5 minutes. And then I'm gonna flip them, and I'll show you after 1.5 minutes when we flip them how awesome those grill marks look. So after 1.5 minutes, very carefully flip them right over. And that's where these toothpicks come in handy, because you can just flip them. And if some of the filling stays down, it's fine, that will happen, especially with a hot grill pan. Go. Whoop, sliding out of there. Go. Whew, this is hot, okay. Doing it with tongs is just not my style. Takes too long. There we go, perfect. Another 1.5 minutes on the timer, and then we'll be ready to eat. So the last thing to do before we serve these babies up is to take some balsamic glaze. If you don't have glaze, can't find it, don't wanna make it, just use balsamic vinegar, that works just as good. This is just a little bit thicker. And I just like to go and drizzle a couple drops onto each one. It's just gonna wake up that gorgonzola and that prosciutto. Oh, these figs are gonna soak it up too. This is literally the perfect combination of flavors. You have to try this. All right, just like saying having to try, I have to try. So I'm going in for one. I'm gonna grab, let me see, grab this one. And I would leave the toothpicks on because it's easier for people to pick them up. And it keeps the prosciutto and everything all together. So let's go. One bite. It's gonna be a big bite, but I'm going for it. Flavor explosion. Mmm. So good. Those figs melt right in your mouth. And all those flavors are so good. You need to make this. Make this for a group of people. If you have figs at your store right now, which they're in season, they're gonna be there, grab a pack and make this. If you happen to have a fig tree like I do, you probably have a ton right now, just like I do. This is a great way to use them up, especially for a crowd, it's great. Go to my blog, I'm gonna put the link below to the recipe with all the ingredients and the measurements and everything for you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm on a schedule now. I'm putting out videos 3 times a week. Hopefully in the future it'll be more, but for right now it's 3 times a week. And come back soon because I'm gonna be sharing a lot of different recipes and tips and tricks for living a low carb lifestyle. So I'll see you next time. In the meantime, I'm gonna go serve these figs to my family and friends. See you later.